That was actual footage of my 0 followers waiting for me to upload because I was supposed to upload every Sunday, but I didn't upload for 2 weeks. Well, fret not, my followers, I have returned from the land of technology doesn't like me. That's not true. I will never return from the land of technology doesn't like me, but I can pretend. I got a laptop that I'm borrowing from the school, and I can actually do stuff on it, like edit and record. Wow. Today, I'm talking about one of my favorite things to advocate for, and that is problem children. See, this term, I think, is more a mindset than something people actually actively know that they're imposing upon a child. Have you ever heard of the Pygmalion effect? This is the idea that if you have a child in your classroom and you expect them to do wondrous things, then by the end of the semester, they will have achieved wondrous things. However, if you expect them to be absolute trash, they are much more likely to be absolute trash. This is called the Pygmalion effect. Now you've learned something. The reason that I'm talking about this is because I work with kids. I have worked with kids since 6th grade, almost half of my life. In every single classroom I have worked in, we've had at least one problem child that the other teachers expected very little from, and it showed. Here's the thing. Kids are very smart, much smarter than we give credit for. And they know. They know when you don't expect much from them. They know when you think that they are the bane of your existence. And it will affect how they act. Even a really, really fantastic, good child, having those low expectations on them will have a negative effect on them. I've seen this time and time again. And I've come with examples. I'm going to tell you stories. Story 1 is about a kid that I have decided to call Jack. Jack was one of my daycare students, and the first thing that I heard about Jack was my boss telling me that he was a pathological liar and a master manipulator. Let's go back to what we learned earlier about Pygmalion effect. How do you think this affected Jack? Even though he did not hear my boss call him these things, the way she interacted with him, he knew that she felt these ways about him. Jack didn't always make the best decisions. So one day I said, Jack, why are you doing these things? And he said, because I'm naughty. I said, because you're naughty? He said, yes, because I'm naughty. I act naughty. When he told me that he was naughty, I told him, no, Jack, you are not naughty. You make naughty decisions. However, you, Jack, your soul, child in front of me, is not naughty. You're a lot of things, a lot of beautiful things, but you're not naughty. And he said, okay, then, what am I? He put me on the spot. I told him, Jack, you are an artist. I'm not an artist. Jack, I've seen you draw. Jack refused to draw for 2 days. Until one day I said, Jack, come sit down at this table. He said, why? I said, we're going to draw a clown. He said, no, we're not. And I said, yes, we are. And we sat down together, and I drew a head, and he drew a nose, and I drew the hair, and he drew the tie. And we went piece by piece, turn by turn, drawing a clown. A very misshapen, silly clown. He was beaming. After our clown was drawn, his mom came to pick him up, and he ran to her so excited. Mom, look it, I drew a clown. I'm an artist. And she had such a big smile, and she said, yes, Jack, you are an artist. After that day, Jack gave me significantly fewer problems, and he spent most of his time and energy drawing and doing art. And he made little cootie catchers, and he made little pop-up books, and he just had a great time doing art. And when he was causing me trouble, I turned his attention to the art, and all of a sudden, he was a completely different kid. Story 2. This is the story of my little friend Stuart. Stuart came into my classroom and he was the most helpful, kind, thoughtful child I had ever encountered. He was always asking if there was ways I could help. He was always supporting my other students. He was always listening. He was always doing whatever he could to do well. I was very grateful for this, and I would say, Stuart, I'm so glad to have you in my class. One day my coworker came to me and she said, I heard you have Stuart in your class. Are you holding up all right? I was confused. I said, of course he is. He's my best student. And her eyes widened and she said, Stuart, we're talking about the same kid here. I said, yeah. My coworker informed me that everywhere Stuart went, he was trouble. He caused so many problems. He would get into physical fights. He would swear at teachers. He would be the most disrespectful child. I was utterly taken back. Couldn't be the same kid. One day I talked to him about this. I said, Stuart, I heard that you're not doing so well in other places. What's going on? He told me that people were very mean to him and they always expected him to cause trouble. Later, Stuart was kicked out of my daycare. His sister remained in the daycare, and I came to her and I would ask her how he was doing, and he seemed to be doing worse and worse. I asked her, I said, why do you think it is that Stuart was such a good student in my class, but everywhere else he seems to cause so much trouble? And she told me that I believed in Stuart, so Stuart didn't want to disappoint me. She told me that I was the nicest teacher that he had and that he really appreciated me. She told me that he was glad to have someone to go to and talk to about all of his problems who wouldn't judge him and would just love him as he was. I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss Stuart every single day of my life. The stories of Stuart and Jack make me very sad because they are such fantastic, fun children who have the brightest souls and the kindest hearts. But people's perception of them has led them to believe that they're unworthy and unlovable. If you're watching this video and you have a kid in your life who is a little hard to deal with, I encourage you from the absolute deepest depths of my heart to give that child love and patience. It'll mean the world for them. Having someone to believe in you and to not expect you to just cause destruction. I hate that people make children feel that way, and I will advocate till the day that I die to take better care of these kids because they're sweethearts and they deserve the world. Story number 3. Look, I'm the Wolverine. This is the story of my little friend who had a really, really cool name, and I wanted to use it because I love his name, but I'm not going to use it. But I'm going to call him Julian in hopes of keeping a little bit of the culture in there while still protecting his identity. In my short life, I have had the privilege of working with refugees, specifically refugee children. Julian came from Congo. At first, Julian had no respect for me because he didn't think I would have respect for him. It's very hard to be a child and move from your home country to a country where you don't even speak the language. Julian was one of the smartest children I've ever met. He taught himself and his entire family how to speak and read English. When I first met Julian, he was screaming. I don't remember when I met Julian, but I know he was screaming because Julian always screams. Julian is a very loud child who likes to dance and cause trouble and be wild because he is wild. I think my favorite story of Julian is when he ran down the stairs, screamed at the sky, and then kicked a trash can, immediately apologizing. I said, Julian, did you just apologize to a trash can? And he got very embarrassed because apparently he didn't think anyone was watching. The thing that gained me Julian's respect was to sit down with him and help him through reading a book. Because even though he had taught himself how to read, he was still very behind in school. He was very hard on himself about this fact, and I was there to be very encouraging and tell him, Julian, you're doing great. Before that moment, Julian did not listen to a thing I said. But after that book, it was like he was attached to me at my hip. Him and his sister would not leave me alone, which I was entirely okay with because I adored them. My story of Julian is short. But what I want to get across in his story and in all of the stories is that when you believe in a child and you pour into their lives, it makes an extreme difference. And these children deserve to be poured into. They deserve to be loved and treated as if though they are worthy, because they are worthy. Their self-esteem is important, and you can't expect a child to thrive when they're treated like criminals, when they're treated like deviants, when they're treated like rebels. If you're out there and you stumbled upon my video and you thought, I am that kid, or I was that kid, I want you to know that you are worthy, loved, and valuable. People will always have their biases and be impatient. There are also people out there who will see an immense light in you, and they'll love it unlike any other. It's hard feeling like you're not accepted, but I want you to know that you are. Maybe you just haven't found the right person yet. That you're valuable and you're cared for. Your personality is not a sign of childishness or anything bad. It is who you are, and it's okay. Be kind and be courteous and get stuff done, but love yourself as you are, because you are lovable as you are. If you're out there and you work with children or what I said inspired you, I hope that you'll join me in advocating for this. It's not something people often think to advocate for, in my experience at least, but I think that it is extremely vital. The kids of today are the presidents, teachers, mothers, fathers of tomorrow. We have to take care of them like our lives depend on it, because one day it is going to. Make sure that they know that they are loved and they are safe. Make sure that they know that they are important and valuable and perfect just the way they are. My final thought is this: whoever you are, love and embrace it. Take care of yourself and don't hurt others. That's the one thing you gotta work on. If you're hurting people, you need to stop, okay? That's not okay. It's not okay for any of the kids I was talking about to hurt people. They're fantastic the way they are, but don't hurt people. Didn't mean to mom you right there, but it's important. Take care of people. Be nice. Take care of yourself too. Love yourself. Be nice to yourself. That's my final thoughts. Thank you for watching. When I get more subscribers, if I get more subscribers, I will probably do a part 2. It's maybe a little more thought out. I don't know. Maybe I'll actually do textbook research for it, but this time I just wanted to get out my thoughts because I feel very strongly about them. And I feel like it's important to get it out in the world. Thank you for watching. Hi there. Smash that like button like Kirby and you're doing a downbeat. Pew! Giant pink square smashing into wow. And subscribe. 1 subscriber, and it's me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. The lighting situation was better this time. I mean, at least a little bit. Be a good idea. Why did I do that? Kirby, pow, and subscribe. Like, I don't subscribe to regret. You should subscribe to me. That's a terrible day. Like, seriously. And if you have a problem child in your life, extend some love, extend some kindness, because they really deserve it. And if you're important to them and they're important to you, it'll go a long way. I'm serious. Even if they're not important to you, it'll go a long way, because having someone to believe in you is super powerful. Have a great day.